Our next speaker is a CEO and a triathlete, exuding confidence in different shades. Ladies and gentlemen, she is the co-founder and CEO of Sugar Cosmetics. Please welcome on stage Vinita Singh for an inspirational session.
Good evening, everyone. Very happy to come up after the awards. You know, कुछ celebrations के बाद कुछ मीठा हो जाए. Hence, presenting Sugar. Congratulations, by the way, to all the winners and the amazing Amazon team. Not just for adding all the sweetness to Sugar's journey, which you have, but for bringing this big group of India's sellers together. I've been spending a couple of hours backstage, and an event of this scale is really, really hard to put together. So thank you and congratulations to the entire Amazon team that's been behind this. Let's give them a big hand. So how many of you are entrepreneurs here, like me? Entrepreneurs, all the entrepreneurs. Wow. All right. And how many of you are from Gujarat? Wow. All right. You know, I'm on Shark Tank and meet so many entrepreneurs from Gujarat, specifically Surat, many of them selling on Amazon. And I always tell my colleagues that venture capital funded companies are always doing trade-offs between growth and profitability. But in Gujarat, it's both at the same time, growth and profitability. So I'm going to start with Sugar's journey. And, you know, a lot of people ask me this question that, how did you have the courage to get into this category back in 2015? Of course, now thanks to Amazon, it's much easier to build a beauty brand in India. But we started Sugar back in 2015. When there weren't any real beauty brands coming out of India. And a lot of people ask me that, you know, how did you get the courage to do this? Because there are so many large international players here. And I'd love to say to them that, you know, kabhi kabhi lagta hai, apu nij bhagwan hai. Do you guys know the meme? But well, the internet records all our history. So we did not actually start with Sugar. We're engineers, Kaushik and I, and we started our business with a beauty subscription company back in 2015. In fact, it was just 6 months before Amazon launched in India. I don't think agar Amazon aa gaya hota to hamari himmat hoti. But we started a beauty subscription business because we're both engineers and we were like, agar lipstick bana ke bechenge, तो बेइज्जती हो जाएगी. You know, engineers can't be just making lipsticks and selling them online. It doesn't sound like a complex enough thing for an engineer to take. लोग बोलेंगे कि IIT की seat waste करती. So we started something which involved a monthly subscription and 4 to 5 products curated for our consumers based on their beauty preferences using an algorithm. And it was so complex that as we scaled, we got to about 15,000, 16,000, 17,000 monthly subscribers. But beyond that, it was a bigger struggle to explain to our consumers only what we were doing. And this was our first office. I'm from Bombay. And in Bombay, there's a concept called mezzanine. It doesn't exist in Delhi because you guys have a lot of space. But, you know, a mezzanine floor means that you can't stand straight if you're more than 5 feet 6 inches tall. So you have to either keep sitting or you have to stand like this. And that was our first office. And luckily, we eventually moved to this warehouse. And as we were trying to scale FabBag, we realized that the cost of performance marketing was such that eventually, for every additional consumer that we added as a subscriber, we started bleeding more money. And then there was this stage where we tried to raise capital to plug the losses, as venture capital funded companies sometimes do. But it was very hard for investors to believe that beauty in India is ever going to be sold online. So investor after investor told us that we're not able to build consensus on this because we don't think the TAM, which is the favorite rejection word for a venture capitalist and an angel investor. I also use it on Shark Tank sometimes. The TAM, which is the target addressable market, is not large enough. So this is one of the 100+ emails that I've received. And this is me back in 2014 after our 100th venture capital rejection. And you know, entrepreneurs have bad days. It's hard being an entrepreneur, right? How many of you have like a setback almost once every month? Raise your hands, come on. It helps, it helps. Misery loves company. So entrepreneurs have hard days every month. And generally, I just cry it out like a little child for 10 minutes before I get back all the energy to roll up my sleeves and get back to building and serving our consumers. But you know, there are some days when it's really, really hard. So when I'm just crying it out, my husband can never get a picture of me. But this picture is very special because it was for me like a situation where after 7 years of being an entrepreneur, having graduated from IIM Ahmedabad in 2007, giving up a very fancy investment banking offer, I was 7 years into my journey at my third startup, which was now an official failure. So this 2014 moment was one of the hardest moments to get back to business from, because it just marked the end of that 7-year journey of my third startup failing, because we were fast running out of money, running on this treadmill where we were spending on performance marketing, but every additional customer would lead to more losses, and we were running out of capital, and we had the last few lakhs left in our bank account. But then there was a second chance that happened, because when I got up the next day and started getting back to building, I realized that there was something beautiful that was emerging from the last 3 years of trying to sell beauty subscription to Indian women. And what this was the stark difference in where the young Indian consumer wanted beauty to go, which means they wanted convenience, which comes from shopping online. They wanted products that work for real women like me, who have deeper skin tones, have skin issues, dark circles, and acne. And they wanted products that suit working women because they last 12 hours a day and not 2 to 3 hours, which traditionally the brands that served consumers only wearing makeup while going to a wedding would end up with. So we launched Sugar back in 2015 with just 2 products. And luckily, that was the starting point of the growth of internet penetration, where we started seeing women actually being okay with putting up their pictures, wearing lipstick online, and user-generated content was exploding. And that's when I found the courage to become a brand that was authentic. We broke all the rules of brand building because everybody said, firstly, beauty brands get trusted if they are international. They are from Paris, they are from Italy, they are from Korea, or they are from the US. We said we're going to build a brand which is Indian. Everybody put perfect-looking women, preferably celebrities, in all their glossy campaigns on television. We got women in our office who looked like me, real women, with all the skin issues and deeper skin tone, and women who always struggled to find makeup that would work for the real Indian woman, come up on our Instagram and YouTube channels and share their journey of using makeup, using skincare, and suddenly that exploded, and we became one of the most popular. Now we're the largest brand on Instagram and YouTube, and all of this traction and growth. We have 2.9 million followers on Instagram, 1.7 million on YouTube, and all of this came because instead of putting super glossy, perfect women on these channels, we put women who were like me, just girls next door with our own insecurities, trying to find the fact that beauty drives confidence, and we wanted to inspire women to find their own confidence without feeling insecure. And over a period of time, when I talk about our journey, I realized that we somehow managed to be at the right place at the right time, because that is also when Amazon started building in India such that 20,000 PIN codes could now be delivered using Amazon. And we were suddenly at this place where 300 million women were on social media, spending 7 to 8 hours a day. And there were all these traditional brands still relying on television and traditional distribution, where it was the D2C brands like us that were disrupting this. So we were beneficiaries of this explosion where suddenly women started shopping online. Women were working. When we started Sugar, only 23% of the organized workforce were women. Today, that number has gone to about 30%, and we're expecting that number to keep growing over the years. And of course, if any of you has had a tough year this year, it's important to remember that the India story is just getting started. You know, we're talking about 2047, where we expect anything from 30 to 40 trillion dollar GDP coming from India on such a large base. It's unthinkable. So there isn't a better time to build a business in India, especially if you're building a brand. And there isn't a better time to be a woman entrepreneur. You know, when I started Sugar, less than 2% of the world's capital would go to companies that were led by women. On Shark Tank itself, my co-sharks and I, we often, in most seasons, have invested almost 45% of our capital to companies that are led by women. And when we go through this journey of 8 to 10 years, what we usually forget is it all looks like this amazing overnight success. But all overnight successes are 10 years in the making. And you know, today I was coming on my flight and I was sitting next to Viraj, who's the founder of Viva, and he told me that Sugar is such a fantastic name. Like, how did you come up with this name? And you know, names are everything. And I again wanted to say, kabhi kabhi lagta hai police bhagwan hai. But the reality is that I did not come up with the name Sugar. The company, the brand, was actually going to be my favorite word at that time, which was a rebel without a cause. We wanted to call it Kick-Ass. And I remember pitching to our investors, telling them that I'm starting this brand now, which is going to be called Kick-Ass, which is for young millennial women. And they said, yaar, thoda na consumer survey kar lo, women se baat kar lo. So we put up Sugar as an alternative name against it, just to compare, you know. We knew that that's going to lose. And as it turns out, the reason we became the brand that people could just so easily associate it with was that names really matter. And something like a name like Sugar made all the difference to our journey. So I just want to end with a story, which is very close to my heart, because I know entrepreneurs go through these struggles, but sometimes they forget to realize that the struggle is a part of the process. You know, so there's this man who saw this cocoon, and he was seeing this cocoon mein se one butterfly trying to come out from this small opening, and she was really like trembling, going left, right. And so he thought that itna time ho gaya hai, butterfly suffer kar rahi hai. Let me like make the slit of that cocoon wider so that the butterfly can come out. And he took a scissors and like made that slit. And as the butterfly came out of that slit, it had not lost the moisture from its wings, which it would have if it had gone through 4 more hours of struggle in trying to get out of that cocoon. And the butterfly couldn't fly. And I realized from my own journey that if those 100 venture capitalists hadn't rejected us and almost forced us into starting the brand called Sugar, we may not have had the courage to ever think of building a beauty brand in India, which is now the 3rd largest color cosmetics brand, and we crossed a turnover of 500 crore last year. So the struggle is often meant to be a part of the process. And I think just, you know, one thing I've learned from my father's journey, and my father's a scientist, and he works in a lab at AIIMS, and he had his 70th birthday 5 years ago, and I was telling him that we want to throw a party, and he said, I don't want a party right now, just wait 6 months, because in 6 months, I've been working on this nation building where I'm trying to create protein structures to bring India to the top of the world in terms of protein structures that are used for treating cancer. So if you give me 6 more months, I will meet that objective. And this was a dream that he had been working for the last 40 years in his lab at AIIMS. And as a kid, I used to think that it's nonsensical because he was right at the bottom of that list, and he was working towards a goal that would take him 40 years to accomplish. But when I saw my dad become the largest contributor of protein structures at the age of 70, I realized that good things, they take time, they take a lot of love, and they take patience. And it is really helpful along the way if you have a purpose. And for me, with 70% of the workforce at Sugar being women, which is more than 3,000 women, and them so closely mirroring our consumer in terms of the ambition and the unstoppable energy of changing India, for me, that's my sense of purpose, which is inspiring Indian women to find their confidence. So find your purpose and remember that good things take time, love, and a lot of patience. Thank you.
Amazon संभव, नए इंडिया की नई रफ्तार।